Surveys are very useful tools for understanding guest experience and testing the effects of different listing attributes using experimental design. There are many options to design a survey, including Qualtrics, Experience Management, Google Forms, SurveyMonkey, and many others. I got used to Qualtrics as the most comprehensive survey solution with a wide selection of question types, extensive customization options, and advanced logic. And I'll show how to do hospitality surveys on the example of Qualtrics, specifically for Booking.com guests, but you can use any other platform. Let's suppose that we have already clearly defined our objectives to explore the effects of certain listing attributes on guests' attitudes and booking intentions. And I discussed how to do this in the topic about conducting experiments in general. So, please log in to your Qualtrics account. If you don't have an account, you can create it for free. Visit the Qualtrics website, go to the official website qualtrics.com, select Get Started or Sign Up, choose the appropriate account type. It can be business, individual, academic, and in your case it's better to choose individual. Fill out the registration form, name, address, other required details, and after that you need to verify your email and click the verification link provided by email and set up your account by creating a password and completing any additional setup steps. So now you can log in to your new Qualtrics account using your email and password. Now click on the Create Project button. Select Survey from the project types and choose a blank template or start with a pre-made template suitable for Airbnb or Booking.com guest surveys, or you can use a template from our Tools section. And then click Get Started in the bottom right corner. So now you can add questions by clicking the Add New Question button. I traditionally start with a consent form because it's a requirement of the Institutional Review Board for research projects. So let's put just consent, yes or no. Then I asked some screening questions. In our case, this is: have you stayed in any hotel or Airbnb accommodation within the past 3 years? And here you can add display and skip logic by skipping respondents who never stayed in any hotel or Airbnb accommodation to the end of the survey. But this is your choice. If you still want to survey this kind of respondents, you can leave them. And you can also ask additional questions like: how many times have you stayed in a hotel or Airbnb accommodation within the past 3 years? Or any other questions about the guest's prior experience, familiarity with Airbnb or Booking.com, and so on. Next, we need to create experimental scenarios themselves. Let's suppose that we are experimenting with the presence of artwork on the wall in the bedroom. So we should have two listing scenarios. One scenario with the artwork, and the second one is without the artwork on the wall. The easiest way to do it is in PowerPoint. You can take a screenshot of your own Booking.com listing by clicking the Print Screen button and then put it in PowerPoint by using the Copy option. Now you have a ready control group scenario, and the task is just to add a painting on the wall. So we are using exactly the same picture on the next slide, and just insert the picture of the artwork. You click Insert Pictures, this device, and select the picture of the artwork. And you can change the format of the picture by choosing Picture Forms, 3D format, and you can rotate the picture to adjust it to your bedroom perspective. And now the second experimental scenario is ready. And I intentionally simplify my explanations to show that it's simple to conduct experiments and test your listings. However, usually I'm making some important attributes bigger and more noticeable for respondents, like bigger price or bigger rating and so on. And after that, we can save both scenarios by selecting them and clicking Save as Picture. Now you can include your first scenario in Qualtrics and ask questions about their attitudes and booking intentions. So create the new block, Scenario 1. To include the picture in Qualtrics, please choose the question type text, graphic, then type something like, please imagine that you are planning to travel within the next month and book an accommodation on the website. And after that, you can click Choose Graphic and select the first picture that you created. To measure attitudes and booking intentions, you can use the questions provided in the Tools section or use our survey template, but there is nothing difficult here, and you can just type, please rate your attitude toward this accommodation based on the scenario you observed. And you are choosing the question type metrics table, metrics type Likert scale, number of desired statements, let it be a single statement for the sake of simplicity, then number of scale points. I usually use 7-point Likert scales, and it's always better to add labels. Strongly disagree, strongly agree. 1 is strongly disagree, 7 is strongly agree. That's it for attitudes. And now we can do the same for booking intentions. For instance, we can copy the same question and write, please indicate the extent to which you agree or disagree with the following statement about your booking intentions. Again, question type, metrics table, metrics type, Likert scale, number of desired statements, let it be a single statement for the sake of simplicity, then number of scale points, 7, labels, 1 strongly disagree, 7 strongly agree. That's enough for the moment. The first control scenario is ready. Now let's create the second experimental scenario. We can repeat everything from scratch, or we can do it in a different way. Just copy the block scenario 1 and call it scenario 2. We will receive exactly the same block with the same questions, and we can just replace the picture there with the second scenario where we have a painting on the wall. So insert the picture, and now both scenarios are ready. And we can also create another block and ask some additional open-ended questions. Add block, let's name it additional questions, and ask open-ended questions by selecting Add new questions, text entry, and the question itself, like, could you briefly explain your attitudes toward this accommodation and how it influenced your intentions to book this accommodation? Or some other questions. You can change the size of the answer window. And finally, it's important to ask questions about social demographic characteristics. Please use our Tools section for the template questions about gender, age, income, marital status, and so on. Or you can import these questions from Qualtrics templates. Your survey questions are ready, and now it's time to randomly assign respondents to our two scenarios. And in order to do this, we are choosing Survey Flow on the left panel and use Randomizer. Randomly present one of the following elements and choose the box Evenly present elements. So now if you have, let's say, 100 respondents, they'll assign 50 of them to the first scenario and 50 of them to the second scenario. And you can also customize survey appearance. I recommend you to use the mobile-friendly button and response requirements by clicking Add Requirements, Force Response for all questions. That's it. Your first survey is ready, and you can preview it using the Preview button in the top right corner. You can see its preview for both desktop and smartphone versions. And let's take our survey. Consent: yes. Have you stayed? Yes. How many times? Booking.com recently informed me that I stayed in more than 900 hotels at the moment. So let it be 100 in the last 3 years. Yeah, okay, let it be 4. We see the picture and answer questions about attitudes and booking intentions. Now, open-ended question about attitudes and education. As an example of social demographic questions, I got PhD and that's it. The survey is ready. Once the survey is finalized and tested, determine the best method for distributing it to Booking.com or Airbnb guests. Options may include sending the survey link via messages, email, or you can use panels of respondents. For instance, we created panels of more than 3,000 guests who stayed in Airbnb and Booking.com, and we are ready to who are ready to take part in our surveys. So, the surveys help us test the effectiveness of different listing attributes. In our survey, the first group of guests will see the listing without any painting on the wall. The second group will see the same listing with the same photos, price and description, but with the painting on the wall. After that, we ask questions about attitudes and booking intentions and compare the results. And if we can see a significant difference in guests' attitudes and booking intentions for these two groups, when booking intentions are much higher for the listing with the artwork, we can conclude that it's effective to put the artwork on the wall in the bedroom. We can pretest other opportunities to influence your guests' attitudes and booking intentions using different listing attributes that we discussed in other topics such as color, host pictures, photos, the presence of green plants, cleanliness information, sustainable labels, humor, artwork on the walls, and so on. And we also provided templates for surveys, Airbnb and Booking.com scenarios, analytics dashboards, and other useful tools in our Tools section.